Have you ever wondered what really happens to older men who live alone without a woman by their side? It's a question that few people talk about openly, but it touches the lives of so many men in their 60s, 70s, and even well into their 80s. Whether you're single by choice, divorced, widowed, or just happen to outlive your partner, living alone as a man brings a set of realities most folks never see on the surface. In this video, we're going to reveal the 6 harsh truths that shape the lives of older men who go through their days and nights alone. From hidden health struggles to unexpected freedoms, each truth paints a vivid picture of what solo living really means as the years go by. Some of these might sound familiar, and others might surprise you, but every one of them is important for anyone hoping to understand life after 60 when you don't have a partner at home. Stay with me until the end because you'll not only learn what these 6 truths are, you'll also discover how they can change the way you see yourself, your habits, and your future for the better. No matter your situation, this video is for anyone who wants to face aging with open eyes, real answers, and just a little more confidence in every step. Now, let's get started. Truth 1: The decline in daily structure. One of the quietest but most powerful challenges older men face when living alone is the gradual loss of daily structure. Without a partner in the home, there's no gentle routine shaped by shared meals, regular conversations, or the subtle rhythm that comes from having someone else's presence woven into your day. When a man lives alone, he becomes the sole decision maker for every moment, and that freedom can quickly turn into a lack of direction. Many men don't notice this shift right away. They begin by waking up whenever they feel like it, eating at odd times, or skipping certain responsibilities because no one else will notice. What starts as flexibility often becomes inconsistent. Meals get replaced with snacks, bedtimes drift later and later, and important tasks get postponed simply because there's no one around to remind them. Over time, these small disruptions can lead to bigger changes like poor nutrition, neglecting medical appointments, or losing track of physical activity. Consider someone like Walter, age 68, who spent decades following a steady schedule with his wife. They ate breakfast together every morning, took evening walks, and planned their errands as a team. After she passed, Walter tried to hold on to his routine, but the quiet house made it harder. He started waking up later, skipping lunch, and eating whatever required the least effort. Days blurred together. Eventually, he realized he wasn't just lonely, he had lost the structure that once kept him grounded, healthy, and engaged with the world. A lack of routine doesn't just affect the mind, it affects the body, too. When men fall out of steady patterns, everything from metabolism to cognitive function can decline. The brain thrives on repetition and purpose, and without consistent habits, it's easy to slip into sluggishness or forgetfulness. Even simple tasks like shaving, tidying the living room, or stepping outside each afternoon can be powerful anchors. They remind you that each day has meaning, even if no one else is around to see it. But here's the encouraging part: daily structure is one of the easiest things to rebuild, and it starts with just 1 or 2 intentional choices. Some older men begin by setting a regular wake-up time, preparing one healthy meal each day, or scheduling a small walk at the same hour. Little by little, these habits rebuild momentum. They add shape to the days, energy to the body, and clarity to the mind. Living alone doesn't have to mean drifting, it can mean rediscovering your ability to create a life that feels steady, purposeful, and fully your own. Truth 2: The isolation. Himself living alone, one of the first changes that creeps in is a slow and almost invisible drift toward isolation. It rarely happens all at once. It begins with small things like skipping a weekly breakfast with an old friend, staying home on a day when the weather looks a little unpleasant, or deciding that a phone call can wait until tomorrow. Over time, those small choices stack up, and before he realizes it, entire weeks can pass without any meaningful conversation or connection. For many older men, especially those who grew up believing they needed to be strong, private, and self-reliant, solitude feels familiar at first. It can even feel safe. But as the months go by, that quiet becomes heavier. Without someone regularly checking in, sharing a meal, or even commenting on the day's small victories and frustrations, a man can start to feel cut off from the daily rhythms that give life its warmth and purpose. And when you live alone, there is no partner asking if you ate, if you slept well, or how you're really feeling. Take someone like Stan, age 74, who spent most of his life working long hours and taking pride in handling problems on his own. When his wife passed, he figured he could adapt. At first, he filled his days with chores, television, and old hobbies. But slowly, he stopped going to the community center he once enjoyed. Friends invited him to lunch, but he turned them down, telling himself he wasn't in the mood. Before long, he realized he couldn't remember the last time he had a real conversation with anyone outside the grocery store. The silence that once felt peaceful became something harder to carry. Experts who study aging say that isolation isn't just an emotional issue, it affects everything from brain health to physical well-being. When you don't interact with others, you miss out on the stimulation, laughter, and simple human warmth that keep your mind sharp and your spirit steady. With a neighbor or a shared cup of coffee, can brighten the day in a way that solitary living never quite replicates. Yet the good news is that isolation doesn't have to be a permanent state. Many older men rediscover connection by joining local clubs, volunteering, or reaching out to people they haven't spoken to in years. Sometimes one small step, like saying yes instead of no, can reopen doors they thought were long closed. As you grow older, choosing connection is one of the most powerful ways to remind yourself that you still belong, you still matter, and you still have plenty of life left to share. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Truth 3: The struggle with health maintenance. For older men living alone, maintaining good health becomes a more personal and often more difficult challenge than most, can quietly affect mood, motivation, and even physical health. A cluttered or poorly maintained home can create feelings of stress or sluggishness without you even realizing why. It becomes harder to find things, harder to stay organized, and harder to feel truly comfortable in your own space. Take the example of Martin, age 76. After his divorce, he kept up with housework for a while, but as months passed, he began letting things slide. A light bulb went out in the hallway, and he didn't replace it. The garden he once cared for slowly became overgrown. He started eating meals on the couch, leaving dishes until the next day, and then the next. Before long, Martin found himself avoiding certain rooms altogether because they reminded him of tasks he hadn't finished. His home wasn't dirty, his sense of pride and well-being. Researchers say that your living environment has a strong influence on both your mental and physical health. A tidy home promotes clarity, energy, and even better sleep. A neglected home, on the other hand, can reinforce feelings of loneliness or lack of purpose. For older men living alone, this can become a cycle. The more overwhelming the home feels, the less motivated they become to fix it. The good news is that small steps can make a big difference. Choosing one task a day, like opening the windows, wiping a countertop, sorting a drawer, or replacing a burnt-out light, can begin to restore a sense of control and comfort. Some men find it helpful to create a simple cleaning schedule or hire occasional help for larger jobs. Others ask a friend or neighbor to spend an afternoon tackling one area together. These small efforts can transform not only the home, but the way a man feels about himself. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 5 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Truth 6: The surprising strength that comes with solitude. While living alone in later life brings challenges, it also reveals strengths many older men never knew they had. Solitude can uncover resilience, adaptability, and a quieter kind of confidence that only develops when you learn to rely on yourself in new ways. For some men, living alone becomes an opportunity to rediscover personal passions, hobbies they once enjoyed but set aside during busy years of work or family commitments. Others learn new skills, from cooking to gardening to budgeting. Some find peace in their own company. Consider the story of Howard, age 72. After his wife passed, he struggled deeply with loneliness. But slowly, he began taking daily walks, experimenting with simple recipes, and keeping a journal. These small routines helped him rebuild his life from the inside out. Howard didn't replace the love he lost, but he learned that he could still create meaning, purpose, and even joy, all on his own terms. The truth is, living alone doesn't make you weaker. In many ways, it challenges you to grow stronger, more self-aware, and more intentional with your time. You learn to appreciate your independence, to set your own pace, and to understand yourself in a deeper way. And while it's important to stay connected, it's equally important to recognize your own capacity to adapt and thrive. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Feels more burdensome than comforting. Let's consider the case of Frank, a 75, who prided himself on keeping a neat house when his wife was alive. She always had a way of making sure things were in their place, and Frank enjoyed helping her keep the home welcoming. After she passed, Frank started letting things slide. Dishes piled up, laundry sat in baskets, and the garden went untended. It wasn't that he stopped caring. It just felt like too much work for one person, especially when no one else would see it. Frank's story is common. Many older men say they only feel motivated to clean, organize, or decorate when they expect company or when someone is coming over. When living alone, that outside motivation disappears, and the home slowly loses its shine. A neglected living space isn't just an eyesore, it can have real effects on mental and clutter, and disrepair can increase the risk of falls or injuries, while unsanitary conditions may lead to health problems. More than anything, the state of the home can impact a man's mood, self-respect, and willingness to invite others over. It becomes easier to turn down social invitations when you feel embarrassed about your space, which only adds to the cycle of isolation. But there is hope. Some older men find that breaking large tasks into smaller, manageable pieces can help them stay on top of things. Others benefit from inviting family or friends over once in a while, just to spark motivation and reclaim a sense of pride in their home. There are even local services, volunteer groups, and community organizations designed to help seniors maintain safe and pleasant living environments. The key is recognizing that your home deserves the same care and attention as your health. Keeping a living space clean, safe, and welcoming is not just about chores. It's a way of showing respect for yourself and for the life you're building, even if you're building it on your own. Truth 6: The challenge of finding purpose. As years go by, older men living alone often face an unexpected and deeply personal struggle, redefining their sense of purpose. For many, life was once anchored by family routines, shared plans, and the everyday tasks that came with caring for someone else. When those connections fade, whether because of divorce, loss, or a long stretch of single living, a man must confront the question, what am I getting up for each day? It's common for older men to look back on decades of responsibility, raising children, building a career, being part of a partnership that shaped every season of life. When those roles fall away, days can start to feel empty, no matter how much freedom a man has earned. Hobbies that once brought joy can lose their spark when there's no one to share them with. Even activities that once felt meaningful may start to seem pointless if done in isolation. This challenge shows up in subtle ways. Men might spend hours watching television, browsing the internet, or tinkering with small projects just to fill time. Without a clear sense of purpose, they can begin to feel restless or dissatisfied, even if their health is good and their needs are met. For some, the loss of structure leads to anxiety or depression. For others, it simply feels like drifting, like living on autopilot with no destination in mind. Consider the example of Howard, age 79, who always loved gardening with his wife. After she passed, Howard continued to tend the flowers and vegetables but found himself wondering what it was all for. The garden became just another task. Eventually, he joined a local gardening club where he could share his knowledge and learn from others. That connection revived his enthusiasm and reminded him that purpose often comes from engaging with a community, not just keeping busy. Experts in aging agree that finding new meaning is possible at any age, but it requires intention and a willingness to try something new. Many men benefit from volunteering, mentoring, or taking up new interests that put them in touch with others. Some return to old passions, music, art, woodworking, while others discover purpose in supporting grandchildren, helping neighbors, or getting involved in community projects. The important thing is not to wait for purpose to find you. Living alone means taking the first step, even if it feels awkward at first. Purpose can be as simple as committing to a morning walk, learning a new skill, or making regular phone calls to friends and family. It is not about grand achievements, but about having a reason to look forward to each day. As you age, purpose is what keeps your spirit alive and your outlook positive even when circumstances change. Remember, a life lived alone can still be rich, vibrant, and full of meaning if you're willing to look for what inspires you now rather than just longing for what used to be. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we come to the end of our conversation about the 6 harsh truths facing older men who live alone, I hope you found a sense of understanding and encouragement here. Living without a partner brings challenges that often go unnoticed: quiet shifts in daily habits, deeper feelings of isolation, health concerns that are easier to ignore, and the emotional weight of an empty home. TS gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.